The Legend of Zelda is a story of adventure, a world where a young boy must journey across a troubled land, battling monstrous foes to save it from a terrible fate. While there is so much we know about the series, such as the origin of the Master Sword, how Hyrule flooded, and what caused the Great Calamity, there is still so much that we don't fully understand. Ocarina of Time in particular leaves behind a number of unanswered questions, mysteries that are never explained, events with so much detail, yet lacking clear answers. So today, we are diving into the many unexplained mysteries of Ocarina of Time to better understand what they might imply and why they still matter to the Zelda series. In the deep, dark well beneath Kakariko village lies the Lens of Truth, a magical relic that allows its bearer to see hidden passageways, invisible objects, and even restless spirits. This relic becomes an essential tool in Link's journey across Hyrule, and yet, its origin is never fully explained. In Hyrule's ruined future, an old man called Shikashi can be found in Kakariko village. When spoken to, he recalls that a long time ago, there was a man in this village who had an eye they said could see the truth. Now usually, you have to train your mind's eye most strenuously to actually see the truth. But this person, no. They said he had a different way of doing things. His house stood where the well is now. Considering that Kakariko village was originally founded by the Sheikah, a tribe known for their ability to see beyond the physical world using the mind's eye, it's safe to assume that the man Shikashi speaks of was himself a member of the Sheikah, perhaps someone naturally gifted with the power to see the truth, capable of creating a magical artifact to replicate his own ability. However, there are some issues with this idea. If this man already possesses the power to see with the mind's eye, then why would he need the Lens of Truth at all? And why use it? Could it be that the man Shikashi describes was not really a Sheikah, but something far darker? Perhaps even the original form of the twisted Bongo Bongo, who was later sealed away at the bottom of the well. Whether the Lens of Truth was created by a gifted Sheikah, or born from the same dark power as Bongo Bongo remains a mystery, meaning that the truth fittingly remains unseen. The Song of Storms is perhaps one of the most memorable melodies in Ocarina of Time, a short, frantic tune capable of bringing rain and even lightning down wherever it's played. But unlike most songs in the game, the Song of Storms has no clear origin. When Link visits the Kakariko village windmill as a child, he meets a strange man playing a phonograph. He explains that he is trying to compose a musical theme inspired by the windmill, a song that goes around and around and around. Then, years later, when Link returns to the windmill as an adult, both the man and the structure have changed. The windmill now spins endlessly as the phonograph man rants about a mean kid from 7 years ago, one who played a strange song on an ocarina that ruined this windmill. When Link reveals his own ocarina, the phonograph man teaches him that very melody, the Song of Storms. If Link then travels back in time and plays the Song of Storms within the dormant windmill, rain pours inside the room, causing the mechanism to spin exactly as it does in its future. However, this causes a slight problem. Link only knows the Song of Storms because the phonograph man teaches it to him in the future, which means the song has no beginning. This is known as a bootstrap paradox, a closed loop in time where the future influences the past and the past influences the future, trapping an event in time with no point of origin. Does this mean that the Song of Storms was ever truly created? Or has it always existed, echoing endlessly through time? Unfortunately, Ocarina of Time never gives us a clear answer to this. And yet, the song continues to play. Early in Ocarina of Time, we are told something unsettling, that if a Kokiri were to ever leave the safety of the forest, they would die. It's a belief shared by every Kokiri, one that immediately sets the forest apart from the rest of Hyrule. But is this really the case? Throughout the game, several details openly contradict this very claim. The gossip stone behind the Great Deku Tree states that one Kokiri has left the forest, but he is still alive. And during the end credits, the Kokiri can clearly be seen celebrating at Lon Lon Ranch, unharmed and untouched by any darkness. So, where does this belief come from? One possibility is that it was never meant to be taken literally. The Kokiri are both children in mind and body, eternally sheltered by the Great Deku Tree, raised in a world without death, without consequence, a world where they never have to grow up or face the harsh realities of Hyrule beyond the forest borders. To leave Kokiri Forest is to leave that protection behind, and in doing so, the childlike Kokiri would be forced into a world they were never prepared to survive. This idea becomes even more compelling when we look beyond Ocarina of Time. In the Wind Waker and the Wild Era, the Kokiri no longer exist. Instead, they have become Koroks, spirits of the forest no longer bound to human, childlike forms, free to roam the kingdom as they please, suggesting that this warning passed down by the Great Deku Tree was never a law of magic, but a lesson, a belief meant to protect his children from the horrors of an untamed land. But why this fear was instilled so deeply into the Kokiri may be something that we never truly know. After acquiring the 3 spiritual stones and returning to Hyrule Castle, Link witnesses something tragic. Ganondorf has betrayed the kingdom and launched his assault on Hyrule Castle, forcing Princess Zelda and her attendant Impa to flee in a desperate attempt to avoid capture. But where exactly did they go? After Link unwittingly grants Ganondorf access to the Triforce and is sealed away, Castletown is reduced to rubble, Death Mountain erupts in flame, Zora's domain is frozen solid, and Ganondorf is on the hunt. Yet, somehow, Zelda and Impa survive all of it. Where could they have gone that was safe enough to remain unseen for 7 whole years? Well, one possibility lies within Kakariko Village. Kakariko Village is a settlement deeply tied to the Sheikah, where beneath its quaint, peaceful exterior lie dark, forgotten places like the bottom of the well and the Shadow Temple, ancient torture chambers once used to interrogate Hyrule's enemies, now hidden from the world above. It's not hard to imagine that Impa may have brought Zelda here, not merely to hide her, but to train her, to teach her the ways of the Sheikah, allowing her to abandon her royal identity and emerge as Sheik, a presence able to move unseen through a broken kingdom, watching Ganondorf's rule from the shadows. Alternatively, they may have left Hyrule altogether, or perhaps took refuge in a hidden settlement still within the kingdom, places beyond Link's journey, like the hidden village scene in Twilight Princess, but existing in the distant past. After all, Hyrule is far larger and far more complex than what we are ever shown. But regardless of the truth, one thing is certain: Zelda and Impa vanished without a trace, surviving in silence, preparing in secret, waiting for the moment the prophesized hero would finally return. Ocarina of Time's Temple of Time stands as one of the most important structures in Hyrule. It guards the gateway to the Sacred Realm, allows Link to travel through time, and even to the Chamber of Sages. Yet, while nearly every other part of Hyrule falls to Ganondorf's power, the Temple of Time remains untouched. Not a single stone is cracked, not a single window shattered throughout the 7 years that Link was sealed away. How could this be? Perhaps the answer lies in the Temple of Time's sacred and divine nature, a purified structure built to safeguard the Master Sword and the Triforce, using its own inherent magic to protect itself from those who would seek to defile it, further reinforced by the power of the Sage of Light Rauru, the temple's only awakened sage. Another possible, yet somewhat unlikely reason may be that Ganondorf simply never targeted it. Even someone as mad as Ganondorf might recognize the danger or futility of attacking such a sacred place. Perhaps he feared that destroying the temple could disrupt the flow of time itself, or even unravel the very fabric of the sacred realm. Any such act is sure to invoke the wrath of the Golden Goddesses, a confrontation that even Ganondorf could not hope to win. Ultimately, Ocarina of Time never explicitly explains why the Temple of Time stands untouched. Whether by divine protection, the caution of those with evil intent, or some other force altogether, its survival remains a mystery. Another secret of the Zelda series that may never be revealed. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Zelda content like this in the future. What are your favourite unexplained mysteries? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that's all from me for today, so I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.